Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. This video is fully inspired by my Pinterest browsing. I've taken a break from the epoxy resin to make one of these absolutely stunning wooden signs that I have been seeing on Pinterest for a solid 2 or 3 years. I never had a Cricut, and now that I have a Cricut and I'm really into it right now, I decided now is the time. The hardest part was finding one that I liked enough to recreate or change, make my own. But actually there are so many on there that I decided to pretty much copy one, which is absolutely incredible. This one here, my favorite. I've changed a few things. I'm not using ribbon and all of that, but yeah, I am obsessed with the results. I love it so much. Let's get going. Do is get my wooden round. Now this is absolutely huge. I could have done with a much smaller one, but I didn't have anything smaller. Now this is around 45 centimeters across, so it really is big, and I've pretty much used all my smaller ones for resin. So again, if you're doing this, you don't need one this big, but this is what I have to hand. So massive shout out to Dan at CDA Wood Turning, who cut me loads of circles out of leftover wood I had from my workshop. I'm going to be using wood stain, and it's going to have a white section in the middle, pretty similar to the Pinterest image. Now I am going to put on the screen who inspired this. I couldn't find them on Instagram to thank them, but I did see their specific design and I fell in love with it. The first thing I'm going to do is use my trusted frog tape. This stuff, I am telling you, it is more expensive than your generic masking tape, but wow, it did an incredible job. And I'm also using my Ronseal walnut stain. So really I was trying to gauge how much of the wood I want stained and how much of that white ribbon, that white band coming across the center, how deep do I want it? How, what is the depth I want it? So it really is up to you guys. I'm not going to give you measurements because all of your wood is going to be different. Your requirements will be different. But yeah, I figured this was about right. The top being walnut, the middle being white, and the bottom being walnut. So what I did was just brushed on the stain. Now this is plywood. It hasn't got a particularly stunningly beautiful wood grain because it is plywood, but it does the job. I mean, it's perfect for this kind of craft. And I just went in and applied my very first coat of the walnut stain with a paintbrush, and I did that until the whole of the top section was covered. If you are enjoying this so far, do not forget to give me a thumbs up. If you like this video, that tells YouTube that you really like this kind of content, and that will make YouTube push, well, it won't make them, won't force them, but it will let them know that you like it. So they'll push my video out more and more people will see it. So once I finished off that first coat of stain, I went in with a cloth that I've used before for stain, so it's pretty wrecked. Don't use your fancy flannels, guys. I do like the way the wood is showing through here. Again, it's plywood, it's cheap as chips, so I've got something going on. There is a bit of a pattern, it's not completely bland, but even if it was completely bland, you could always use a dark wooden colour paint. It doesn't have to be wood stain, depending on what your base is, what your canvas is. So here I am just going in with a second coat now. I actually really laid the second coat on thick because I wanted it a lot darker than just the first coat. Look at the smooth lines that this masking tape is leaving. Honestly, really happy with it. Not a single bleed through on the plywood. Super, super happy. Now I left it around about an hour for them to dry. Might have needed more. I don't really know. I'm not really a wood stainer, but it might have needed longer. At this point, do not ask me. I don't know why I did not put masking tape at the top. I don't know. I don't know where my brain was at. I was thinking I could freehand it. I absolutely could not freehand it. So here you see me just using standard, cheap as chips, white acrylic paint. I ended up using masking tape because I was like, don't do it, Claire. Don't do it, Claire. Honestly, the self-talk is real. So here you see me. I've actually cut out already. You guys know I'm loving the Cricut right now, but I'm not loving the filming process of it. The weeding, all of that. not loving it. However, this vinyl is a dream to work with. This vinyl was from HTV Ront. They sent it to me a while back. So yeah, a real dream. And this was about 2 hours after I stained. So you'll see here that when I peel it back, I do start to bring some of that stain off with it. So yeah, if I had to do it again, I would have waited a little bit longer, but you can't have a Claire's video without something that I would have changed. So it's all good. We're learning together. Now, here is my Christmas. It took me a while to find the font I want, but ideally I wanted it much bigger, much bigger. I wanted it to fit that whole white space. But again, I haven't got a long Cricut mat, a sticky mat. I haven't got a long one. The vinyl would have worked, but yeah, I don't know how at this point to make a really big sign with a 30 centimeter cutting mat. Does that make sense? So anyway, that is on my Christmas list. I want a 60 centimeter cutting mat from the Cricut range so that I could have made this sign so big and chunky that it fit that complete white section. Again, if I did this again, I'd use a smaller round of wood. That's the whole point here, guys. The wood is so big. I really could have done with it being smaller, or I could have done with a much longer Cricut mat so that I could have cut out a much bigger word. Again, all new to this. So I was so worried at this point that the tape would peel off the acrylic paint. But wow, absolute dream. It came off like a dream. It did not take a single bit of the vinyl with it or the paint, and I was honestly at this point loving it so much. I'm just giving you a close-up there. You can see where it has taken off some of the varnish. But again, it's up on my wall and I have to say I can't really notice. This is where I need your help if you are still here. We are nearly 7 minutes in. I need your help here. I really wanted to decorate it, but I could not, for the life of me, decide what avenue to go down. I've got this gorgeous duct tape in the red tartan. I bought this from the range. I was thinking I would put it along the bottom here. Now, I do, you're watching me right now, I do. I actually stick it down and I cut the edges off and I keep it there. It didn't make the final cut. I ended up peeling it off because I just wasn't happy. I wasn't happy, it was too much. I was playing around with this black and white tartan wired ribbon. Again, didn't like it, moved it away. And then I figured, do you know what, Claire, just decorate the top and then think about it and come back afterwards. Ask you guys what you would do. So please let me know in the comment section down below. This in my hand right now is left over from a wood round wreath that I made. Might have been 2 years ago on my channel. It broke, it fell, it broke into pieces, like, I'm not gonna lie. So I still have all the pieces, I save everything. And I saw it in the box and I thought that right there is going to be perfect alongside these gorgeous red berry picks from Wilko's. I've also had these for 3 or 4 years. I used to live, no I didn't, I used to work on a high street and there was a Wilko's and it was dangerous. I'm not going to lie, I used to come out of school, go across the road every lunchtime into Wilko's and yeah, I was poor. I was very poor. So all I'm going to do is entangle these 2 red berry picks together, hot glue them onto the top right hand corner and just kind of hold them in place until it's pretty much set, until that hot glue is set. And then I'm going to manipulate, because they're all wired, so I'm going to manipulate them down and around and up and over to where I want them exactly. Now the Christmas I did off center so that I could bring those berries around, and I am loving it. The last thing to do then is to just glue on this big chunk of that wreath that fell apart. Keep everything, guys, keep everything, because you never know. You can still even see the reindeer's leg stuck in there, but we're not going to talk about it. We'll just pretend it's not there because you can't see it. You can't see it in the end. And how gorgeous does this look? I love it. I would have loved maybe some Christmas tree sprigs, you know, the green sprigs. Would have loved to stick them in there as well, but didn't have any. This is the wired ribbon that I was thinking about putting on at the beginning, but I didn't like it. Then I made this gorgeous bow and I thought, well, I could stick that somewhere. Could I? Will I? Won't I? Kind of playing around at the bottom, put it in the middle. I was thinking, could put it on top of the red. Didn't like it. And then at this point, that red doesn't even look red. It looks pink. So yeah, like I said, none of this made the final cut. It's pretty similar to the original that I saw on Pinterest, and I kept it really simple and really minimal, and I think it is stunning. Again, Wilko's have got such cute things. I found this red pom-pom garland, then I was toying with the idea of sticking it here, and then I moved it down thinking, bit too much. The hard thing is for me, I struggle with reds. My eyesight is not great with reds. So sometimes things look pink and yeah, on camera, I'm sure they're coming across as red. But this right here is the final cut. I took the duct tape off. Believe it or not, it came off like a dream. And all I want to do now is make 10 more. I just want to keep going. I am obsessed. I want to do them all. And yeah, let me know your thoughts. I'm gonna put it up on the wall and show you what it looks like. So here it is in my haul next to my gnomes on my radiator cover with my candles. I absolutely love it. I ended up using that black and white tartan as the ribbon, and I only hot glued it on the back. Even though the wood is really big, the hot glue was enough to really secure it in place. And that little bow that you saw, I just stuck it to the top and I love it. But please, I need your help in the comment section. Would you leave it like this, or would you add more? Would you add embellishments? Would you add that tartan duct tape? I just don't know. I definitely would love to try this again with a longer cutting mat so I could get that Christmas word really big to fill that gap, or just get smaller wood. Smaller wood would work as well. But yeah, I love it. I love the way the berries are dripping down and the frosted berries. Oh my gosh. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much if you've stayed this long. I appreciate you all. And yeah, I will see you all in the next video. Bye.
It was the night before Christmas. I was closing down for business in my little prison shop, when the bell on the door jingled once more, and then time almost came to a stop. But somehow I knew, and maybe so did you, that everything would change from now on. Yeah.